Hey everyone, it's pretty valuable to point this out. All the phone calls that we make are able to allow the user of that system to retrain or update the training of the assistant right over the phone. So anybody who's renting the service from us can simply call to test it. And if they need to make any changes, they can literally say the magic password to put it in the right mode and then teach it just by talking to it over the phone and then tell it to go ahead and resume. And it will. And that way they can continue going through the rest of their prompt. And then if they hear anything else that they want to update the training on, again, they can say the magic word and make some more notes and then tell it to resume. And then when they're done with the whole thing, they can hang up, wait about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, call it back, and double check that all the changes are done the way they want. Because they will be in about 2 minutes or a minute and a half. They should be done in a minute. We'll just tell them to wait a minute and a half or two to call back. Now, having said that, more importantly is this. What if they make a mistake and they want to revert it? Then there's a magic password for that. They say the right thing, and they can say go back to the last known configuration, and then it will do that. It'll go back. That way they don't have to try to train it and then train it again, then train it again to fix a mistake. That's kind of like when you bend the wire hanger and then you try to bend it back, and then now it's got a little S in it. And so you keep trying to bend all through it to fix it, and you wind up with a little squiggly shape. So yeah, we don't want that. We just want to be able to reset and then try again, right? So that part is important. Now, here's the bigger part. When we do this stuff over the phone, we thought it was so important to be able to integrate it. It's not just the conversation. It's being able to use the conversation to onboard a client or create a record, fill out a questionnaire, get some training. All that kind of thing is screaming important, right? To be able to just call and get that done. I mean, talk about taking it to an extreme. It is possible for us to set up a phone number for paralegal assistance for lawyers in certain states where the paralegal is told to just focus on the state law of that state. And, keep reminding the lawyer when it's trained up through, just so the lawyer's clear on that. But then the lawyer could be driving in between cases or on the way to court or whatever and have a question about something and call the AI paralegal right then and there and get the answer right then and there. It can kind of live research some of this stuff. And we're getting better at that. The system's getting better at making that available. It's all coming together. It's beautiful. Now, all of this functionality and then to be able to handle conversations in multiple languages at the exact same time is huge, right? Well, like we said, we want to also be able to do that with our live chat assistants, WAP. So I'm just going to bring this up for a minute. And I'm on a different website. It's not a law website. This is plastic cards, right? So I just had Mindy Briers here, who I created to test. And I've been testing her on this site just because, she's out of the way. And so she's poorly trained over the entire thing. She's not trained well, but I don't care. I'm only right now using it for testing all our new audio functionality. Anyway, we can take the conversations we have with the live chat agents and have them check the database. So let's say I'm like, hey, I'm a returning customer. My name is Dave Bennett. I'm in your system. I need to make a change. We moved. I need to give you my new address. Well, we want Mindy to ask us a few questions to confirm our identity. So in the database will be some things about me. Who knows what? Can I verify my birthday, my current address, my phone number, date of birth, whatever was in there? And so if I can verify a few things and or my customer ID, my phone number, I can verify 3 points of information out of 10, and I can tell her, I'm sorry, I'm driving. I don't have access to my account ID. And she can go, no problem. Let's look you up a different way. Let's do this a different way. So anyway, by verifying who I am, if I say the right things, and if I don't, I can't keep trying. She'll say, hey, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we tried 3 times and not getting anything right here, so I'm just going to have to let you go. You'll have to call in later. Here's the phone number. or whatever, or send an email here, she can do that. So she can let them know. And that's a clickable phone number. It's a clickable URL. So that stuff's huge. It can even be clickable email link so that it'll open up the email in the guy's native mail system, and the guy can just start typing, or it could even have the subject line and something in the body, and the guy could just amend or adjust or add and then send it, right? Anyway, what am I getting at? That not only would the phone number say this phone number was connected to an AI assistant that's customer support. If I call that phone number, I'm going to talk to, who knows, Mike with the Australian accent. But I could do that, or I could talk to Mindy here. The point is, Mindy and Mike have access to the same database. So whether I call in or chat with a live chat agent, they can both help me. Okay? So why even bother choosing? Well, maybe you're on a desktop and so this is the easier choice, or maybe you're driving and so you just click the phone number to call, or you click the box to open up the live chat agent. It's up to you. Some people, when they're looking at the offer, they don't want to call and talk to a human yet. They're not ready to be sold on it, but they have some questions. So wouldn't it be nice if this clarified that it's your friendly AI support servant? And you can just ask it whatever you want, and you can just close this whenever you're done without feeling like you offended her, because you didn't, obviously. So you can talk to an AI and get all the answers you want without getting sold. Okay? And then Mindy will encourage you to call when she hears the right cues out of you in the conversation, or reads the right cues. When it sounds like you've pretty much asked what you need to ask, you've gotten the answers you were looking for, you're content. Now it's time for her to say, hey, if you want to take a step forward, talk to Tom, you can call him here or email him there, whatever it is, right? So this doesn't have to detract from your sales at all. It only helps encourage the sales, okay? Now, you could even just say call the number at the top of the website, whatever, at the top of the web page you're on. Now, having said that, here's one more point I want to make. The access to the database means that Mindy here can make changes to my customer record if I can pass her test. Like if you called a real person at the phone number, they will ask you 3 or 4 leading questions to make sure you're you, stuff you shouldn't be sharing, but that is in the records with them. And then when you can confirm who you are, they can make those changes you need. So when I talk to Mindy here, I can let her know I'm an existing client, or she can ask if I'm a new prospect or an existing client or whatever. She can even say, I seem to have somebody with your name in my database. Is that you? There are different ways that we can do this for everybody, anybody, all businesses, B2B, think DML. Right? Because all this stuff helps with capturing leads, selling leads, and getting businesses to rent these services anyway, which is huge because that creates a static flow of income that tends to stay the same every month, separate from incoming phone calls. So we have a layer of cash stability pouring in, plus the variable sales profile. All right. But this is huge. It also allows us to go across the board, all industries, with something they can use and need, right? Doesn't this sound useful? It sounds like it's covering many, many man hours. I priced it out. Now I got to go back and double check my prices. But a conversation like this is like a nickel, a full out conversation, say we have a conversation and she winds up saying 500 words, 800 words. Something like that is like a nickel, a nickel. And to think that when you type, the typical person types 400 words in 10 minutes. So 40 words a minute, 400 words in 10 minutes. So the typical live chat agent would have to think and type. So they won't really manage 40 words a minute, because they also have to think for half a minute or 15 seconds and then type for 45. So they're going to be more averaging like 30 words a minute or 300 words in 10 minutes. Well, then you would think they can have 6 conversations an hour. That's if the website's that busy. Most of the time, they're only busy half of the time. Live chat agents. But they're going to charge you by the hour. So you're going to pay them to work half the time, but you're going to pay them by the hour. So you don't just pay them for one conversation. You pay them for a conversation for 10 minutes, followed by probably 10 minutes of silence before the next conversation with someone new. And then that'll go on for 10 minutes and then 10 minutes of silence before the next conversation, right? That kind of thing. If you think about it that way, you realize it's 3 conversations an hour until you have an AI assistant. Then they don't charge you for the 10 minutes they're not working per se. They're just charging you for the conversation. Although they're paying a flat rate to us, but that's what it would work out to, is they're paying for a certain number of conversations, basically. Average number of conversations, a certain number of words, by the month. And then they can always get another stack. They can always buy some more. And then they can always upgrade if they step into a higher realm of customer service. But the conversations are cheap. And Mindy here doesn't need a bathroom break. She doesn't need to refill her coffee cup. If she's talking to someone, she doesn't have to tell someone else to wait in the queue and she'll get to them in probably 3 minutes. That doesn't have to happen. She can talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere, in any language. That's the next step. So now that I said all that, I just want to say this. The value is connecting a multilingual live chat agent with a multilingual phone number, all feeding in through the same database so they can work with the people that exist plus all the new prospects so fully. And depending on the amount we train them, we can train Mindy here to handle dispute resolution to some degree, to be able to offer a coupon for a free next purchase, or to give some more credits to the client when he's angry and he has a good reason. Maybe he's buying some leads and 1 or 2 of the leads fell through and he contacted us to say, hey, I really need to see if you can give me some extra credit replacements for these crappy leads. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. Did you have to get involved as a human for that? Did I? No, that's the point, is that we can come up with the rules that they follow that tracks how many changes they're making for people and doesn't let them abuse the system. Because you see when they do it too often, you're going to cap that. But at the same time, it's all here. The clout of having your AI guy and your phone guy who can transfer you to a different assistant, transfer you to a live caller, transfer you to the appointment booker, transfer you to the onboarding assistant, transfer you to where you get the questionnaire filled out or the other questionnaire filled out. And it's always different people, different voices, but they can handle you in any language as soon as you start speaking in a language. And then the fact that all of these guys in the database that you have are all managed by both the callers and the live chat agents on the sites. How's that for creating the support you need to really expand your business? Because you just focus on you and not on all this other stuff. And you don't have to pay a bunch of guys in the Philippines and hope that they're doing a good job for the money they get paid. You can just know. Because, for instance, all the transcripts are saved, both for this and the calls. So anybody who's running these services from us can see literally everything. It's totally transparent to them. In print, they can even see the notes because we have an auditor come and just summarize the notes, right? That goes for the calls. We don't have it yet on chat, but we can easily do it anytime. If chat gets wild, then we can do that. And that way we're saving everyone time. And we're tracking statistics and everything else. Okay, I just wanted to say, nothing beats having all of this AI functionality that actually acts, can do things in the system, working on the behalf of the company. So they're going to want to pay recurring for this branch. There will come a time when companies who upgrade into these AI functions are going to survive, and the ones that don't are going to get left behind. They're going to wind up probably going bankrupt because their costs are too high and they're getting too burned out trying to handle the level of clientele they should be able to handle if they did have this working for them. And we are just at a point where we get to explain all this to companies that don't really understand how far this has come because it's pretty new. The whole world's open. The fact that we can offer it in so many languages now, in so many countries now, to so many people now. This is huge. It's just absolutely huge. Okay, 15-minute video. I'm going to break it off. Talk to you soon.